Good sharing. Excellent. Now it's Peter's time. We've been waiting this for 2 weeks. And I should have some music on. Yay! Thank you, Peter.
Martha, you're an incredible woman. I
Oh,
love
thank
your
you.
passion. I love your enthusiasm.
No,
Yes,
please
I'm
share.
a sales coach, but to be honest with you, I'm not really a sales coach. All right. I mean, I am. I've been doing it for 36 years, but I hate that term. Okay. I really do, because I don't believe in traditional selling. In fact, I am repulsed by it. And for 36 years, because I'm an oldie, ladies, right? I mean, I'm old enough to be your grandfather, right? My role is to help the children of this village, to educate the children of this village. And the reason I'm online, the reason you see me is because I use my coaching fees to educate the children. Otherwise, they leave school. I actually built the school and I employ the teachers because the government won't come here because they're so remote and they're not interested in helping. So that's my why, okay? And that's powerful for me. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because you need that too. The objective of today, I think, Martha, was to talk about objections, right, in some way. But I mean, we can talk about whatever you want. My point to you is this. If you don't have your why in place, then you will have more objections than you can poke a stick at. You really will, because you need to be in a situation. I mean, for example, Nessa, you're doing weight loss coaching. Gail, you got incredible. You're talking about coaching emotional and physical pain from women, etc. Right? Alison, liberating baggage. I love that term. That was really good. Okay. Pamela, mindset coach, recovery, weight loss, bankruptcy, and lady of so many talents. Unbelievable, right? Margarita, personal branding. All these things. They are incredible services you provide, but you must have your why of why you're doing it, and it's not money. If it's money, you are going to come across, I mean, one of the questions I've got here, and excuse me for sharing it, but Gail, happy don't mind me sharing this publicly, okay? But Gail said, how do I talk to potential clients without sounding desperate, but still sounding empathetic and compassionate? Right? That's the reason I'm talking about your why. Because if you have your why in place, then whatever services you are offering, and you've got some incredible services, ladies, right? Whatever services you're offering, here's my first clue for you. Don't try and sell them. Don't sell anything, ever. All right? What I want you to do is enjoy having a conversation with a potential client or existing customer, but don't try and sell them. Serve them, not sell them. Okay? We're talking about mindset, and one of you was involved. Who was the mindset lady? Excuse me for not knowing off the top of my head. One of you.
Alison.
Pardon?
Alison is the mindset.
Okay.
Alison and also Pamela as well.
Yeah, okay. This is important. I mean, to me, I deal with a lot of ladies and men, but ladies in particular. And for example, they could be life coach. Here's an example. They're life coaches, and they're really good at what they do, and they love what they do with a passion, but they are petrified about offering their services to a potential customer because they feel like it's sleazy and salesy. They feel like, how do I get the person to accept the fee I want to charge for my coaching services? What happens if they say no? All these things are going through their head, right? And the reason they're going through their head is because they're thinking sales. Stop thinking sales. Think serving. Think helping people. And I don't want to be doing the work that Martha's doing with you because she does an incredible job. So if I cut across some of your areas, Martha, my sincere apologies. But sales coaching is 90% mindset and personal development. That's what it is, right? And what I'm suggesting you do, if you go into any conversation with anybody with a mindset of, I'm really looking forward to helping Pamela, or Nessa, I really am looking forward to this conversation because I know I've got something that can help you. Okay. Or Sandy, goodness gracious me, it's been a long time since I've had a chance to talk to you, and I am busting to find out where you are. More importantly, for me to help you get clarity about where you are. That is the secret. If you go into every conversation helping people to get clarity about what's important to them, right? You might think, what's this got to do with objections? Everything to do with objections. Because if you don't help them get clarity, they're going to have more and more objections because you are not giving them the value they want when they first join with you in the conversation. Does that make sense? So I was a school teacher for 16 years, so I better be careful here.
No, we're loving it at the moment. Please keep going, and there's no offense to me whatsoever. I'm like this little girl having a water bottle and sitting down with my pen and paper.
So my initial thoughts to you, and I'll answer all the questions, and I'm going to give you something that will give you a presentation about objections that you won't see anywhere else. I'm happy to give this to you. I normally only share that with my clients, but you're going to get access to it today, okay? But I wanted to share on a broader way first, because it'll position what I'm about to give you, all right? There are 4 E's I'd like you to take into consideration. It doesn't matter whether you're a weight loss coach or a mindset coach or whatever you do, okay? These are the 4 E's that I want you to go into every conversation with every potential client and existing customer, and be excited about it, okay? And be enthusiastic about it, because if you can bring joy and excitement into the conversation, it is contagious. But if you bring in a mindset of saying, oh, Sandra, I hope you buy from me today because I need the money to pay the bill, ooh, that's asking for trouble. You're going to get objections coming at you from all over the place, right? You know that as well as I do, right? You know that. Here's the 4 E's. The first E, and this is they're not in descending order, but in order you'd have them in the conversation. The first E is that you need to earn the right to be talking to them in the first place. Right? Think about it. In this day and age, people are very skeptical. They don't, who in the heck are you, Pamela? I've never seen you before. Why should I talk to you? What's going on in their mind is, why are you contacting me? Right? They've been stung by experts before. They may be the nicest people in the world, and you may have the greatest service in the world, but they don't know who you are. So you need to earn the right to talk to them in the first place. Question for you ladies. How would you do that?
By showing up and showing people who you are and being authentic.
Anyone else?
By engaging with them on a daily, often, and being very honest, like Martha said.
Mm-hmm. Authentic and honesty. I love those words. Yeah. I'm looking for one thing. You haven't mentioned it yet. Anyone else? There's no magic juices here, by the way, but I'm trying to get you to think.
I think being yourself and being vulnerable, allowing people to see the real you.
Sandy, yes. I was looking for vulnerability. People love the fact when you are sharing that you are not the be-all end-all. You're not Tony Robbins, okay? You are Sandy Johnson. You make mistakes like everybody else. You've been through the wars. You can, and they will be able to relate and resonate with you. If you are not vulnerable, put it this way. If you are talking with somebody and they've got 1 million people followers on Instagram and 2 million people on Facebook and they're this and that. I mean, are you going to be in a situation when you think you can relate to them? I doubt it. Okay? So what you need to do is to be able to get the person you are talking to see that you are real, to see that you are vulnerable. And the way to share that you are vulnerable is to create a very simple emotional story about yourself. Just maybe 1 minute. I'll give you an example. Here's an example for me. I mean, in sales coaching, right? I can clearly recall my father and my wife kicking me out of the house when I decided to leave teaching. Okay? They said, "You are crazy, Peter. Why in the heck are you leaving teaching? You're going so well." And I was the youngest principal in a high school in New South Wales, okay, at that stage. And by the way, this is last century, ladies, right? And I love teaching, but I'm an administration nightmare. And that's all they wanted me to do as a principal. Go to principals' conferences, run PSC meetings, and then be an administrator. I said, let me just keep one class. Just one class, okay? And I'll do the job for you. No, you can't do that. I said, I'm leaving. Boom, okay? And I asked my wife, tell me, what's the worst job you can think of? And she said, why? I said, because I'm going to have a go at it. She said, why would you want to do that? I said, because if I can do it differently to everybody else, I think I can do very well for myself. But I need to know what do you think is the worst job? Well, apart from the fact she was angry with me, and so was my father, right, about leaving teaching. I said, you think about it, and over breakfast next morning, we'll talk about it. Came to breakfast, very cold breakfast. Oh, there was not much talking going on. And I said, come on, tell me what? I said, tell me what are the two worst jobs? And she said, all right, used car salesperson and a life insurance agent. I said, good, thank you. So I went to try and become a life insurance agent. I tried 5 times and I failed. Okay. And the reason I failed is because every time I went into a life insurance office there, the manager knew me because in those days I was in Rotary, okay, because of my school principal thing. And they all thought I was joking. So they never gave me a job. So I kept failing to get a job as an agent. And the message I'm trying to share with you is I share that, and my father was disgusted in me, okay? Truly disgusted. But 12 months later, right, I sent my mother and father on their first ever international cruise. And he just said to me very quietly in my ear, as they were going up the gangplank, okay, it was on a ship called the Oriana, some of you may remember that, okay? Going up the gangplank, the Oriana, he said, Peter, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you were cut out to be in sales. I said, have a good trip, Dad. That's it. That's an emotional story type thing you need to have with your potential people to get them to relate and resonate with you. That's all I'm trying to get at, okay? That's really important. So one is you need to earn the right. You need to earn the right to talk to them. And that's by, and Nezra, you said this too, you need to give value to them. And by creating Facebook posts, doing Facebook Lives, I mean, I've done nearly 700 of those damn things, right? I do them all for the reason of not generating leads, but generating people who can look at this old guy from Thailand and think, well, he might know what he's talking about, okay? In other words, trying to build your reputation. That's all it is. So earn the right. Secondly, embrace them. And what do I mean by embrace? It means use empathy. Empathy is powerful. You need to show that you not only understand, but you have been there and done that. And Pamela, that's why I loved your story, right? Okay, I could feel it in your voice when you were sharing it with me. Empathy is so powerful. If you don't have empathy for what you do, you are again going to start generating objections. All right? So we earn the right, embrace them, then engage them, as Nezra said. Then you can, if you don't earn the right, you can't engage them. And how do you engage them? You engage them by making them the center of attention, right? By saying to them, I'd love to know more about you, okay? And by the way, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to learn about you because relationships are important to me. Whether I can help you or not, I don't know, but I'd love to find out what's important to you. And maybe I can learn from you as well. And just have a conversation. This is the reverse of traditional selling, right? earn the right, embrace, engage. Then, second last one, actually I'm going to give you 5. Second last one is educate. This is where you need to help them gain clarity on what's important to them. Think about this, ladies, right? Where if you ask people, tell me about your personal, for example, I mean, I'm not sure, I've never been a weight loss coach, for example, but if you were talking to a potential client, I'm assuming you would ask them about their personal goals when it comes to weight loss and the reasons why it's important and things like that, etc. Right? Well, whatever it is, ask those things, and then and I'm not telling you how to suck any eggs here because you're probably doing this. Then what you would normally then do is once you've identified what's important to them in terms of their personal and their business goals and their financial goals and maybe their charitable goals, whatever it is, okay? Then you simply say, tell me, what's stopping you from achieving them? What have you tried up until now? Why do you think it hasn't worked for you? I'd love to know that because maybe I'm making the same mistakes as you. So let's share this. It's a conversation. This is not a sales pitch. And by the way, I hate that word sales pitch. You know, let that go. Don't try and pitch anybody. I'll come to that in a minute. You're engaging with them. You are then getting them to share with you what's important to them, and then you need to get them to clarify to themselves that this is important to them. For example, if I'm talking to Alison, okay, and Alison shares with me her personal goal, whatever it may be, okay, I mean, liberating baggage or something really got my attention, Alison. So, but let's assume, and by the way, your question is about how much should you share about your offer. Let's ignore. Come back to that. If I'm talking with Alison, I will get her to confirm to herself what is her number one personal goal. What is her number one financial goal? What is the number one, whatever it is? And why is that the case, Alison? Tell me why. Okay. And if you would tell me something, what have you tried up until now to achieve that goal? What stopped you from doing that? Okay. Finally, the question would be, Alison, tell me something. If I could help you achieve that goal of X and use their words, right? How would it make you feel? What impact would it have on you, on your family, on your lifestyle, on your mindset, on your level of joy and happiness in the world? What impact would it have? Okay, so these are what you would euphemistically refer to as a discovery session with people or a sales conversation, but there's no selling taking place, right? Nothing at all. They are the center of attention, right? You are educating them about themselves. That's the point. Does that make sense? Okay. It's critical. I mean, I charge people a lot of money for this. Bear with me. The next and the last step is once you've educated them, so you've earned the right, you've embraced them, okay, you've educated them, etc. And the last step is you empower them. And one of you mentioned this when you introduced yourself, when I took the word down, and look, goodness gracious, I can't remember. Yeah, Margarita. Margarita, you talked about personal branding and empowering people to get clarity so they can take action. Where's that effect, right? Empowerment, this is the key. Empowerment is where you help your client, who you have helped already, to get clarity of what's important to them in whatever area you specialize in. You empower them to make the best buying decision for them. It may not be what you're offering. It may not be what you're offering. And you might think, that's stupid, but why would you do that? The answer is this. You need to walk out of that conversation with integrity. You need to walk out of that conversation with your head held high that you definitely helped somebody. because you went into the conversation with a mindset of serving people. And if after the conversation you realize that you can't give them what they need, then you tell them that. You help them make the best buying decision for them. If it happens to be you, great, you've got yourself a client. If it doesn't happen to be you, great. Guess what? You've got yourself an advocate. That person will genuinely be grateful for the fact that you never pitched them at all. You listened to them. You showed interest in them. You empathize with them, and you help them clarify what is important to them. And you know what? You're probably the only people who will ever be doing it, because everyone else is trying to pitch their stuff, right? And they're thinking ways to get people, to get Allison's or Gail's or Margaret. How can I? She just gave me an answer. How can I turn that around to get them to think about my stuff? That's the wrong thinking. That's the point I'm getting at. Because that's putting you as a center of attention. You put them as a center of attention and let them come to you. Let them make the best buying decision. Because if you do it well enough, they will say to you, Peter, what can I do? And one of you mentioned, bear with me a tick. Oh yeah. Sandy, what's the most effective way to close a sale when you can see the customer thinking about using your service? My answer to that, Sandy, is don't try and close the sale. That's the message I'm trying to give you right now. Don't try and close the sale, right? What you do is you say this. Once you know in your heart, okay? Once you know in your heart that you've got clarity for these people and they're grateful for the help that you've given them, then you simply need to say, if you want a closing pitch, I hate that word, but if you want that, use this, okay? It's very simple, one sentence, okay? Easy to remember. Take you as the example, Margarita. Margarita, what would you like to do next? Or Margarita, where would you like to go from here? What are you doing? You are empowering them again to make the decision. And when you empower people, there's no stress. When you empower people, there's no resistance. When you empower people, they are grateful, especially if you've been transparent, and especially if you've been vulnerable, and especially if you listen to them, and especially if you've made them the center of your attention. And they're probably wondering, what the heck do you do? Wow, Pamela, what do you do? Thank you so much. But tell me, what do you do? If they ask you that question, what would you say? This is the school teacher waiting for an answer from his student.
Can you repeat your Can you repeat your question again?
I will, and I'll give you the answer as well.
Mm.
If you've gone through making the client a center of attention and helping them to clarify what's important to them, because that's really what it's all about, ladies, right? It's not rocket science, but this is the reverse of traditional sales, right? It's completely the reverse. If you do that and they say, oh, wow, yeah, Pamela, thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate what you've done. Tell me more, what do you do? Your answer to that question is not to go on a diatribe of, I do this. They don't care. They're not interested, right? They are only interested, can you help them solve the problem you just decided with them that was important to them? So your answer to whatever it is, you simply say, what I do, Pamela, Sandy, Allison, what I do is help you solve that problem that you just shared with me. Would you like to hear anything more about that? What are you doing then? You're then empowering them and you're asking permission. Can you see? These are very powerful components that you need to put in place in every conversation. Because if you do this, I can tell you, ladies, the number of objections you're going to get will be very minimal. Okay, very minimal. But I'm going to give you a classic one right now. Okay, Martha, I'm not sure how we're going for time here.
Oh, don't worry. Like, I think that we're very happy. Like, my hand's a bit sore from writing all your amazing notes, but I am actually really enjoying it. And that sentence, what I do is to help you to solve that problem you just told me. Girls, this is a game changer right here. You're going to be able to sell anything after this. So thank you, Pete.
But you can go a step further than that, Martha.
Lovely.
What I do is help you solve that problem you just shared with me. Tell me, how important is that problem to you? Is it really your number one problem? If I had a rank from 1 to 10, whereas 1 means not that important at all, and 10 means I wish you could have solved it yesterday, where do you put that problem? 1, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where is it? If it's 1, guess what, ladies? They have been pretending to themselves. It's not the important thing for them at all. You have not got clarity with them of what's important to them. So therefore, you do not earn the right to provide them with a solution either. Right? So there's accountability in what I'm sharing with you. This is not all nice, easy words. And this is not easy to do either, right? I'm sharing this with you. But if you keep this in mind, okay, then it will work for you. Just today, a really lovely, one of my coaches, my granddaughter's just coming, sorry, one of my coaches from Canada who is very shy, but she's done so well by taking on board the things I've been working with her on. All of a sudden, she decided she'd increase the fees for her services, right? And she was charging 6,000 Canadian dollars for 6 months, and she decided to change it to 10,000 Canadian dollars for 6 months. and she meets once a week, and without going to detail, right? Anyway, the problem was people were saying to her, up came the price objection, right? And she was talking to them about the price of her services. Ladies, don't ever do that. Please don't ever do that. Okay? If you are talking and they are thinking that the cost of your service is a price, right? Then guess what? It's a transaction to them. You're in the transformation game, right? You can't provide a transformation overnight. It's impossible. You can't do that. So what you are asking them to do is to commit to themselves and to invest in themselves to solve their problem. It's not your problem. It's got nothing to do with price, right? It's everything to do with, are they serious? Where do they rank it from 1 to 10? This problem that they, and if it's a 7 or an 8, then you'd simply say, tell me, Gail, it's a 7 right now. What do you need to do to make it a 10? Obviously, it's not the most important thing in your life, or is it? What's stopping you from making it a 10? And it may be that Gail has got a little bit of a hang up inside from a personal point of view. Maybe she's scared that, and Sandy could be the person talking to her. Maybe she's scared that Sandy hasn't told her how much her prices are yet. Prices, right? And that's what she's thinking. See what I'm getting at? So Sandy said to her, forget prices, okay? There's no prices involved here, Gail. I'm asking you to invest in yourself. The investment will be, and whatever it is, boom, right? Whatever the thing is for your services. Now, when you do that, this is a price objection. Please, 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 please. Accept that people are going to say something like, oh, Martha, I'm not sure. Or Pamela, I don't know, I need to talk to my husband about that. Or Alison, I need to talk to my grandfather or the guy next door or whoever, okay? Or I feel uncomfortable, or it sounds expensive, or, okay? That is not a reflection on the investment in your services. We all do it. Be honest, we all do it, right? It's our way of thinking, oh, huh. Now, inside you might be thinking, wow, that sounds expensive. But if you're thinking that, then you haven't got the value. You haven't seen the value that Margarita can offer you. If you can see the value, then the investment is not that important. If you can't see the value, you're going to start thinking that way. So what you do is this, and this is a little bit of reverse psychology, all right? And I am very aware I'm doing all the talking here, Martha, sorry. Anyway.
Please do. That's what I'm planning to do today. Just be a student and actually just writing. So please go on, Peter. I have so much respect for you and thank you for sharing all of this insight.
I don't normally coach this way. Okay, this is like a lecture.
I love it. Keep going, please.
When someone has an issue with the investment they have to make into your services, here is a simple way to overcome that very common, quote unquote, price objection. What you say is this: Gail, I appreciate the fact that you are thinking that it's expensive for you to solve this problem you just shared with me. Is that correct? Okay, and you get an answer from Gail. Is it correct? Okay, let me ask you just two questions, Gail. The first question is this: is this problem important to you? If so, how important to you? I've got my notes here and you share with me, if we can solve this problem, Gail, then this will be the impact on you and your family and your lifestyle and your fulfillment and your joy and your happiness, blah, 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 okay? Is this true? Is this true? Because this sounds powerful to me. Or is it not true? And if it's important to you, then surely the investment, if you're not prepared to make an investment, then you're not committed to yourself. Am I understanding you correctly? I am reverse psychology here. Can you see what I'm doing? Second thing is this, and this is even more important. Let's say it's Martha, and I'm talking to Martha about my coaching service, and she thinks, oh, Peter, oh, that's too expensive. I don't know what to say. Right. I'd say, Martha, do me a favor. Let's take the investment in the services to solve your problem out of the picture. Right? It's no longer here anymore. It's gone. Right? Bye-bye. It's gone. Martha, it's gone on one condition. I want you to convince me why I should take you on as a client to solve your darn problem compared to all the other people who are asking me for their help right now. Why should I take you on? Convince me. Because if you can convince me that I should take you on as a client to solve your problem, I will make sure that the investment you need to make will fit within your budget. Do we have a deal? Right.
Fantastic.
So what you're doing is you're asking them to convince themselves why they should be working with you. And then you be honorable and ethical, okay? Because you said to them, if they could do that, then you will make sure that you can provide an option for them to join your solution within their budget. So that's where you bring in things such as maybe a payment option or whatever else you may have. But you position that with that way first. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Absolutely amazing. It's like, wow, like you're putting someone else, like you're challenging them, because when it's challenged, people tend to chase. And it's such a good psychology to actually make them chase you. It's a lot better when the client is chasing you than you actually go and chase them.
Oh, absolutely. If well, and that's an interesting point, Martha. If I've had a conversation with Alison, for example, and she said, look, I really am not in a position to make a decision right now. I'm really interested, and I'm fairly sure it's within my budget, okay? But I just need to get something done, or my husband will get money organized, whatever it is, okay? You are then in the follow-up thing, right? And when you're in the follow-up situation, that's when you are in a very difficult thing, because you're thinking, I don't want to feel, and I'm going to quote you again here, Gail, how do I talk to a potential client without sounding desperate, right? You don't want to sound desperate, but at the same time, you want to solve their problem and help them, not sell them, serve them and help them. So if they can't make a decision with you right then and there, you then get to an agreement with them. Okay, I appreciate that. Then when do we meet again? And you get a commitment from them right there. When do we get in a commitment? And I will see if I can fit you in the schedule I've got, okay? But if you leave it 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you've lost your customer. You need to strike while the iron is hot. And the iron is hot in the way that you have helped them and served them get clarity about their problem. That's the point. All right? Now, if they say to you, look, I'm sorry, it's really beyond my financial capacity, that's when integrity comes into place here. You can take the money out of the picture and convince me, etc., etc., etc. And if you come in and you then say, here's a payment option, they then say to you, look, I'm really sorry. I still can't even afford it. I need it. I know I need it. And I wish I could afford it. I really do, Sandy, because I need your help, okay? That's when you need to do one thing and one thing only. You need to show respect. You need to say, I actually respect you, Sandy. Okay? Thank you. I really respect you. And then you offer something to them as a gift. Anything. You have something you can give them as a gift, right? This is the gift for sharing your time with me, because I loved the opportunity of getting to know you. Why are you doing that? Why are you giving something away? That's not a rhetorical question.
You want to give them value and show them value.
And compassion and empathy.
Yeah. And?
Trust.
What you want them to do is to leave you with a feeling of, wow, that was a memorable experience. That's what you should be aiming to do with every conversation you have, to make it a memorable experience for them. And you make it a memorable experience by being transparent, by being vulnerable, by showing genuine interest, by making them the center of attention, by embracing them, by empowering them, by engaging them, all the things I just shared with you. Okay? And that differentiates you, I can tell you, from many people you're dealing with. Alison, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just heard someone say something else about that. She asked a question, what are some ways you can get the money from your neighbor, from a friend? Like they got them to think about all the possibilities.
Yes, you can do that. You can do that, but that's sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel a bit when you think about it, Alison, right? Yeah. And you've got to wonder whether, if a person has to do that, whether they're going to ask for a refund. Think about that. And think about also, you need, and I could have prefaced this whole conversation today, but I mean, we're only got a limited amount of time, right? You need to be clear on who you want to talk to in the first place. Who is your ideal customer? Okay. Who are they? Where are they? What's their language? What's of interest to them? How do you connect with them in a way that's non-threatening?
Mm.
How do you get them to value you in a way that they will come to you rather than you go to them? I mean, the laws of attraction marketing, all those things, right? You know, which I won't go down with.
Do you think it's important to have boundaries and standards in terms of how much your program costs and like the payment plan, not like taking it over too much time or lowering it? Or do you think you can have some flexibility depending
Never
on...
lower your plan. Never, never. If you do that, Alison, you are discounting the value of your services. And if you discount the value of the services, you're in a price game.
Mm.
And you lose. And you should value the transformation ability you've got with people in such a way that you are not prepared to do that. Now, if the value that you are charging, okay, doesn't sit well with you inside, you think, oh, maybe I'm charging too much. Think about it. Maybe you are. Or maybe you haven't realized what impact can you have on people. Because a lot of you shared with me, and thank you very much for doing it, a lot of you shared with me what you did, and you know what? The transformation you can give to people is priceless. If they just come to the realization that Sandy Johnson or Pamela is the person that they can relate to, they can trust, and the person who's going to get them there. That's all you need to do. Without selling, they're not interested in, oh, we're going to meet every week on Zoom. I'm going to give you this PDF. I'm going to give you 5 videos. They don't care about all the how-tos. They just want the outcome. Can you give them the outcome? Can you give them the solution to what you got them to clarify to themselves? And then you be honest with them saying, yes, I can, but I cannot do that overnight. I have an offer that can help you. Where would you like to go from here? Right? Does that make sense? Nessa, you said how to upsell in a conversation with a client.
Yeah.
I have to be careful how I answer this question because I am dead against the thing called sales funnels, right? Sales funnels is all about the focus of the attention is on you, the marketer. I would much rather talk about customers, right? A customer funnel where it's all about them. So rather than using the words how to upsell in a conversation, what you would do is that you would help, if you're talking to me, Nessa, and you're talking about my weight program, whatever it may be, okay, then you would find out from me exactly what's important to me, why it's important to me, and you would offer a solution to it, but you would say to them, this solution, okay, will give you X, Y, and Z. Okay, whatever, I mean, I'm not a weight loss coach, so I don't know the words to use, right? However, if you wish to achieve that within a limited time or whatever it may be, then I have another option for you to consider, but it takes more of my time. Would you like to hear about that? You simply are empowering and asking permission again to share with them. You're not trying to sell and upsell. You're trying to find out which of your offers is the most viable one right then. And if I wanted to answer your question, sell one thing at a time. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
If some of you may be exposed to some internet marketers who provide $17 products and they look pretty good, right? Okay? Then you buy the darn things. I heard Martha, you talking about shiny objects syndrome, right? And then you buy the $17 product, and next thing you know, they've got an upsell for $39. And then they've got a downsell for $20. This. And it goes, I mean, it just drives you insane, right? That stuff is 20th century stuff. It's out of date. Don't do it. You are insulting people. People are doing it. Are they making money from it? Yes, they are. But the person that they sell to rarely buys from you again, because they did not like the customer experience with you. It wasn't memorable. It was transactional. It was all you taking from them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Is that? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So my thoughts to you, don't try and upsell. Don't. Offer them the best solution you've got for the number one problem they've got, if it's real.
Amazing.
Okay.
Thank
Gail, how do I talk to a potential client without sounding desperate, but still sounding empathetic and compassionate? Well, I think we've covered that already, Gail, to a certain extent. But can you share me a little bit more? Why did you ask that question?
I come across as I want to help you. Just tell me I can help you. And I don't want to feel as desperate and let you know, a potential customer, that I'm just so desperate to help you. Coming from, I've lost my job as a massage therapist, so I lost the need to be able to give. So starting the coaching practice is affording me a possibility to giving again. And I have a tendency to be over compassionate, and it's true and it's sincere and it's truly who I am. But I often see myself as, dear God, you just begged that kid. So I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to feel that anymore. I know I have value to give to someone. I know that I can help someone through some pretty difficult times. I've experienced many difficult times. I understand. And I think one of my words to people are, I understand, but my history no, I can understand what you're going through, but my history really goes into a deeper section to help you get through.
Mm-hmm. Point taken. But please don't confuse desperation with compassion. All right? Desperation, yes, you need to avoid it, because if you're feeling you're sounding desperate, you will be sounding desperate. But if you feel like you're sounding compassionate, hell, that is fantastic. Sound as compassionate as you want. Never walk away from that, ever. And if you see, for example, Gail, if we were having a conversation and I could see that you desperately needed my services, I could help you, but you just weren't getting to the decision that how do you say that to take me up on my coaching service. If I could see that and I could feel that, I would tell you. I would be completely transparent. Okay? Transparent and vulnerable. Think about that. I would say, Gail, I'm hurting. I'm hurting because I know I can help you. Okay? And I don't want to push you. But I also don't want to walk away from this conversation while you still got the problem to share with me. What else can we do together to solve this damn problem? That's showing compassion. It's not showing desperation. Do not be shy to share like that. Share from your heart.
I only come from my heart.
Yeah. And so please, it's a strength of yours, Gail. Don't walk away from it, okay? Don't hide it. Okay? Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay. I can't do justice in 5 minutes, but I'm doing my best, my thing.
No,
Alison,
you do it. Absolutely.
Alison, how much should you share about your offer in their language? Tell me, what do you mean by in their language?
Just taking notes of the words, the senses, and how they describe things, and kind of mirroring that in a way.
Right. Well, you're absolutely right, Alison. And Martha, you saw me taking notes before. It's a habit of mine. Please make sure you are always taking notes of not what you think people said, but what they actually did say, using their words. This is critical, because it's when you are talking to them, you confirm back. And that's why I said to you, Alison, liberating baggage, right? Because they are the words you use, correct? Okay. You know what it means to you. And that's the reason why I made sure I wrote that down. So when you ask me how much should you share about your offer in their language, I will be talking to you, Alison, about the things that you shared with me, the goals that you set, the challenges you've got, the problems you have, in the words that you gave me. All right? Then about sharing my offer, you don't. I said this before, what you do is this. Have I got this correct, Alison? Am I understanding you right? This is what A, B, C. Okay, these are your three challenges. Why is this one more important than this one? Tell me a bit more about that so I understand. And you dig deep, and you dig deep, and you ask a lot of what if questions. And why is that? Tell me more. And you keep them talking. They do 80% of the talking, not like me today, right? They do 80% of the talking and you do 20% of the talking. But you get them to get clarity with themselves. Once they've done that, then you don't have to worry about, quote you, how much should you talk about your offer? You don't. You simply say to them, Alison, I'm assuming you'd like to solve your problem. Yes or no? And if you say no, well, you think, well, we've had a lovely conversation. I don't know where we're going. It's been a waste of time. But most people would say yes. So then you would say, Alison, so well, where do we go from here? What would you like to do next? That's your, quote unquote, that's your sales pitch. That's what you got to do. Okay? You haven't even mentioned your solution yet. Okay? And you do not mention your solution until you know that they have clarified to themselves what their real problem is, and it's real. And it's important to them. Once you do that, then you ask, would you like to hear? Would you like to hear some thoughts I can help you with? Okay. You're asking permission. Does that make sense, Alison?
It does, but things like being able to know if they're coachable or open-minded or how willing they are to change, is that just intuitive in the moment, or you just keep up?
That's all part of the commitment level. I mean, what you're doing to them is you're saying to them, I mean, in your case, you are wanting people to commit to themselves that this problem is important to them, right? And if it is, you could ask a question. I've spoken with other people before who had similar problems to like this, but I can't help you unless you are committed to yourself. I will be there with you. I will guide you. I will go hand in hand with you every step of the way. But I can't do that if you're not committed to yourself. I'm not sure, looking at your face, I'm not sure if I'm answering your question. Help me. Alison.
Yeah. Thank you. And just in terms of, they come to you for a reason. Anyone could technically solve someone's problem. So wouldn't they want to see like the uniqueness or the program, or just know more about you and what?
Yeah, okay, that's another hour session. Okay, I'll answer that, but quick, very quick. When they want to know about what your solution is, you do not go on and on and on. You just provide the outcome and the result that your solution will provide. You do not go through the how-tos. Okay? Secondly, when people are coming to you, okay, and I don't know anything about you ladies, so my apologies for this, but I'm assuming that for your business, you do use platforms like social media. Is that correct? And if you're using social media, think about this. when you are approaching people or they are approaching you, they are wanting to know, who in the heck is Alison going? Who is she? And if they go to your Facebook profile, what are they going to see? I'll give you a clue. Okay, is mine perfect? No, it's not perfect, but give me some idea. Go to Peter Beck. And by the way, do me a favour, send me a friend request. I'd love to join with you, okay? But go to Peter Beckenham on Facebook. Check my About tab. Check my About tab. But then go to the next step. Check details about Peter. Right? Because this is valuable digital real estate that most people don't use. And if you are in the transformation business, right? And for example, I listened carefully, Sandy, that you shared about the tough time and abusive relationships that you were involved, and that you're now in a situation where you can help other people facing that same dilemma, right? Think about this. When people are in that situation, they're not just skeptical, they're scared. They're unsure. They think, oh, I don't know. So they will check everything they can about Sandy, not just the posts you make. It's about you. And when they go to your profile, they want to check, what about Sandy? Details about you. And in there, what you should have is not about you. In there is what you can do for your ideal client. And I'm asking you to go to my profile while you send me a friend request. That'd be nice of you. Thank you. Go to my profile and check out the about, but more importantly, details about Peter. And you'll see at the top is just a little bit about me, just a little bit. And my tagline is a village marketer because I live in Little Table Village, right? And then I have a gift. Then underneath that is, does this sound like you? And this is where I'm talking to my ideal client, right? And when they're reading that, they're thinking, oh my God, he's talking about me. If that's the case, then you're the sort of person I want to talk to. I mean, I'm not saying this to you personally. I'm just saying as an example. Does that make sense? So think of that through. Then when people check that out, they can see that the focus of your attention is on the people you want to help, not on you. People don't care whether you've got 500 degrees. They don't care whether you're been experiencing a Fortune 500, none of that stuff, right? They just care, can you help them? That's all. Does that make sense? Long-winded answer.
Absolutely. Okay. It's the fact that we don't need to be another person. We just need to solve that person's problem. We don't need to be an upgrade version that we go and actually study another master degrees. We just need to have enough knowledge to solve whatever problem they're presenting to you, because that's what we are.
Yeah, as long as you truly, truly believe in the service that you offer.
Yes.
If you truly believe in the service you offer, then the investment people have to pay for your service is a byproduct. It doesn't matter. And it's the outcome that you get. Now think about this, ladies. You're in business. I started off by saying, have your why in place, right? But you're in business not just to make money. You're in business for fulfillment, right? You want to, at the end of the day, you want to feel like you've really helped somebody. Whether they became a client or not is another issue. That's all part of what I'm trying to share with you today, this mindset, right? Fulfillment and joy and fun. Have some fun while you're doing it, all right? Now, it may be difficult, for example, Sandy, to have fun with people who are going through a tough time in an abusive relationship. I respect that. I respect that, okay? But, I mean, you know what I'm trying to get at as an example. And your question, Sandy, what is the most effective way to close a sale? I think I just answered that. When you can see the customer is thinking about using your service. I think we've done that. Okay. My thoughts to you would be this, Sandy. Take the words sales pitch take the word closing a sale out of your vocabulary. Never use them again, not even in your self-talk, okay? What you're doing is you're empowering people to make the best buying decision. This is critical. All right.
Yeah. Any questions, anyone? This is the time to ask. Pamela, do you have any questions? No? Margarita? Oh, she's actually looking after her kids, I think. Anyone else that you got most of the... I think Peter did an absolutely fantastic job into answering all of our questions here. Thank you for giving your such a valuable time to us. Peter has an online program too. Yeah.
Hang on. I'm going to put this in the chat. Is that okay?
Yes, please do.
Cool. This is a link. And by the way, you're going to have to opt in to do this because it's part of my business, all right? But don't worry, when you join my email list, you will find very quickly that I don't sell anything, okay? All I'm doing is trying to help people any way I can. Because if I do that, people reach back out to me saying, can you help me? That's how I work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's a link to a presentation, okay? peterbeckenham.com/objections. If you go there, it'll take you to a very simple opt-in page, and then you can get access to a video, which I think you might find of help and interest.
Definitely. Margarita, do you have any other questions in sales that you'd like to ask Peter?
No, okay, I think I have learned a lot more than I thought. So thank you very much for all the information and the knowledge you have shared.
It's my pleasure. If there's anything I can do, okay, I mean, it's my honor to serve you because I live by the words I shared with you today. I do not sell anything. I serve people and I truly enjoy helping people get themselves to their next level, whatever that may be, okay? And as I said before, I'm old enough to be your grandfather. I mean, I'm 75, right? 75, 76 this year, unbelievable.
OMG, you don't look like 75 at all, Peter.
Oh, tell me again.
Honestly, oh my God.
Yeah,
such a blessing to have you. Alison, do you have a question that you'd like to ask?
Yeah, just in terms of problems versus desires, would you really identify the problem and then create the vision within the desires in a way? Or would you not even go into desires and just focus on the problem?
I would go absolutely as deep as possible into the desires. That's all part of getting people to understand what's important to them. Okay, and Alison, you know this as well as I do, and Sandy, you would too, from dealing with people with emotional challenges. When you ask people initially about what, and I don't know how you go about that, but if you are having a conversation about what their number one challenge in their personal life may be, accept the fact that their answer is probably not the right one. Don't, because right now you are new to them. They've got to learn to feel comfortable with you. They've got to learn to let you earn the right to ask them deep questions, all right? And so that's why I'm suggesting you be vulnerable at the same time. Help them break the barriers down by showing them that you're real, by showing them that you are not some guru, that you're a real person who is genuinely interested in them. So, Alison, absolutely, you must do that.
That's beautiful.
And I know I'm not doing justice to that question, but I'm just concerned about holding you too long, that's all.
No problem at all. You have been absolutely amazing.
Because I'd love to stay in touch with you to find out how you're progressing, ladies, all right? With Martha's permission, of course, because I trust Martha.
Definitely. Oh, like definitely, like the things that Peter is teaching, I'm not teaching you sort of that. So I'm writing down, like, my notebook here that you guys can see, having all of it.
Okay. But can I leave you with this last thing? And please make sure if you haven't written it down, write it down. Earn the right. Embrace with empathy. Engage. Educate and empower. That is the key to your success, ladies. I can guarantee you that.
Absolutely amazing. Peter, it has been such a
blessing for the day.
It's truly a blessing for all of us, and I have probably about 2 or 3 sales call this week, and I'll let you know how I go using your exact formula.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much indeed, Martha. It was a pleasure and an honor to help you in some small way.
It is such an honor to have you here tonight. Like, you know, I think all the people who missed out tonight, they're completely kicking their bum of one truly amazing cast to be on.
Okay, Martha, Pamela, Gail, Alison, Sandy, Margarita, and Nessa. It's been a blessing to talk to you, and I hope I've helped you in some small way. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you very much.